Southwest Missouri, and leaders in southeast Kansas look to make the roads safer. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, as tariffs begin to roll out, some businesses in southwest Missouri say they could soon feel the impact. Plus, a family in Carthage tries to get back on their feet after a fire destroys their house. And leaders in southeast Kansas look to improve road safety in the area.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
President Trump is granting a 1-month exemption on his stiff new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. But as Reagan D. Trolio reports, if those tariffs do return in a month, the impact could be felt right here in our area for businesses and their customers.
It's definitely going to impact new car production as far as volume. You know, the prices are so high already.
Dwayne Flynn manages 417 Autoland. He says new and eventually used cars could get even more expensive under President Trump's tariffs on products from Mexico, Canada, and China.
Auto industry may price themselves right out of business. I mean, you can only pay so much for a car.
But it could take some time before we see these price hikes.
It depends on how the other countries react to the tariffs, you know. Whose tariff is going to hurt which country the worst?
Companies that export foods to the U.S. will also be taxed, which could impact your favorite place to eat.
It's really hard.
Maria Valdovinos owns Jose Locos in Springfield. She says she expects the prices of foods like avocados to skyrocket after tariffs are put on Mexican imports.
I want to try to be happy, everybody, and not change the prices, but it's hard for business.
And since Valdovinos doesn't want to up her prices, it could lead to smaller serving sizes of guacamole.
Right now it's expensive, but they're not yet expensive. I don't know how expensive next couple weeks, but they try to make it with a little more onions and tomato, or give it a little portion instead of not giving nothing.
Other items like aluminum, alcoholic beverages, dairy, condiments, toiletries, and more could be affected by the tariffs too.
It's not going to be good for anybody for a while.
The 25% tax on imports from Canada and Mexico also includes an additional 10% tax on imports from China. That brings China's current tariff tax to 20%. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures dropping down to the upper 20s tonight. Now, it's been a windy day overall, but winds are calming down as we head into the overnight hours. Now, also, we don't have a cloud in sight tonight. It's going to be pretty nice that we are watching some clouds moving in from the west, giving us a partly to mostly cloudy day tomorrow. We're also seeing winds shifting out of the south as we head into Thursday morning, which means that we're going to see a nice steady temperature increase over the next couple of days, starting off in the morning. We're a little cooler, but getting into the upper 40s, low 50s by 11 a.m. and then hitting our high for the day in the upper 50s. But that's not where we end. Friday, we're getting into the low 70s or upper 60s. So it's going to be a really nice warm up. We've got another front coming through Friday, a dry front, but it is going to drop our temperatures on Saturday, and I'm going to have all those details coming up.
Catch in a few. A Carthage man is in the hospital tonight, and 2 brothers are in jail following a shooting in Carthage. First responders were called to the 400 block of South Orner Avenue last night for reports of gunshots. They found 27-year-old Austin Hodge from Carthage with life-threatening gunshot wounds, multiple wounds, they say. At last report, Hodge was hospitalized in critical condition. Police have now arrested 2 brothers in that case. 23-year-old Dylan Hershey and 19-year-old Hunter Hershey, both of Carthage, are in the Jasper County Jail, facing charges of first-degree assault, unlawful use of a weapon, and armed criminal action. Carthage family is struggling to get back on their feet after losing almost everything in a house fire last month. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to them about their next steps.
I keep going because they all made it out.
After a devastating fire at Amber Smiley's home in Carthage that destroyed almost everything.
Everything that was on the fridge is gone. Everything from their bursts
She says she still remembers the feelings of shock.
There's no words to put to it. It was heartbreaking in every direction. Because those things are things that I can't replace. Those are things and memories that I can't rebuild.
It was about 3:30 in the morning when Amber and her boyfriend were in the garage. They opened the door to enter the house, and that's when they heard the fire alarm and a sound from her son she won't forget.
And he was screaming, which he's a very calm kid normally. And then we saw the smoke.
The first thing she did was make sure her 4 kids and pets made it out of the house.
There's no blankets. Toddlers were still kind of, sleepishly waking up. And it was just a cold night where we were trying to make sure that they were staying warm and comfortable.
Everyone in the house made it out alive. Amber's dealing with the aftermath of smoke inhalation. And Amber's daughter, Trinity, says their cat suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns.
She had some burns on her paws. All of her paws had burns on them. Her bottom one, she's still limping on one of them, but they have burns. And all of her whiskers are gone.
Amber says amid the devastation, the silver lining has been the community support she and her family received during their time of need.
School system has really stepped up. They've really helped with making sure everybody has what we needed, getting all of my school supplies for school. The community has really stepped up. They have brought in clothes for the kids.
And people calling and Facebook messages and there's still people and we still need things that are helping the people that have just randomly prayed with me around Carthage.
And a reminder she repeats to keep moving forward.
I got this.
We got this.
Reporting in Carthage, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, we certainly wish them well. You can find a link to donate to their GoFundMe at koamnewsnow.com. Southeast Kansas leaders take action to improve transportation safety with a new comprehensive safety action plan in the works. The public was invited to share their concerns at an open house today at the Cherokee County Extension Office in Columbus. Officials say community input is key to making roads safer for drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and public transit users alike.
Not only for the people that live here, but also for the people that come to visit to help in tourism, and also focusing on things such as sidewalk improvements for pedestrians to get them off the roadway but allow them safe passage, because if without having a safe sidewalk or having a place for them to walk, then they're going to walk in the roadway, which can lead to collisions, pedestrian collisions. We want to reduce that.
The Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission wants to create safety action plans in every Southeast Kansas county. Next Tuesday, the task force is holding an open house in Crawford County at the Pittsburgh Public Library. That's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. Some students in Allen County, Kansas take care of business at the annual Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. That story's coming up, but up first.
It's that time of year to celebrate those who help us from healthcare to finding homes, our social workers. I'm Lonnie Walton Joplin. I spoke to one about why she decided to join the profession. I'll have a response coming up.
With the first pick in the roofing industry.
If you see a social worker, you should really tell them thank you for what they do, because it's National Social Worker Appreciation Month. Social workers help in every capacity, from hospital care to homelessness, child care, a lot more. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke to some four-staters about their impact.
Kind of grew up always knowing that it was something that I wanted to do.
Erin Porter is a social worker at Developmental Disability Resource Board in Joplin. She says the death of her sister encouraged her to become a social worker at the same facility that supported her sister while she was alive.
I grew up seeing the impact that her case manager made on her and my mom's life and just our family life in general.
And they continue to impact the four-state area also, according to Program Manager of Lutheran Family and Children's Services, Darcy Peterson.
I have staff that work with a lot of families that are struggling with homelessness. They're struggling with addiction. They're struggling with mental health issues.
Dan Shields from Wildwood Senior Living in Joplin says the world will be a different place without them.
I think that social workers are great to help for our whole well-being, psychosocial well-being, and just really help to complete, to make us whole.
Being a social worker is not only a lot of hours, but it also can be emotionally draining as well.
The turnover is just really high in this field because it's just really emotionally demanding. Social workers, like I said, in schools and in hospitals and corporations, workers wear all kinds of different hats and fill all kinds of different roles. It takes incredibly brave people to do all of the things that social workers do.
And that's something that Porter truly understands.
I try to put myself in families' shoes because, I've been on the receiving end. I've seen what it's like for families to navigate really tough situations.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
According to a report by Columbia University, there's going to be a substantial deficit in the number of workers, 74,000 social workers every year for the next decade, with the rural areas hit the hardest. The Carl Junction School District announces its brand spanking new superintendent. Dr. David Pyle will take over the position on July 1st following the retirement of Dr. Philip Cook. Dr. Pyle began as a science teacher and most recently served as the assistant superintendent of operations and the high school principal. In a statement, Dr. Pyle says, in part, "My greatest excitement about becoming the next superintendent of Carl Junction Schools is the opportunity to continue working alongside the best instructional and support staff anywhere." Dr. Pyle has served at the district since 2002. High school students in Allen County, Kansas put their skills as entrepreneurs on display. Students created a business and then put on a 4-minute presentation to be judged by a panel. Students were also able to present their ideas to community members while waiting to be judged. Some students were able to expand upon a business that they already have, while others started from scratch. Checks were given to the top 3 businesses. Some kiddos at Commerce Public School celebrated the middle of the week in a kind of wacky fashion. Wacky Wednesday brought out students dressed in some fun and kind of wacky clothes. Students received stickers and bookmarks, perfect for a little wacky reading with some Dr. Seuss. Other events scheduled for the week will include a family reading night and 2 area authors and a fundraising effort for the local animal shelter. A little bit later, Pitt State faces off against Missouri S&T on the diamond this afternoon. Penn McLeish has the highlights coming up in sports.
And after a rainy couple of days, we're finally heading into some warmer weather. I'll have those details coming up.
Big money at Menards on all 3. From start to finish, let Mid-America Dirt and Demo take care of all your demolition and removal needs.
Well, after a lot of weather going on in a 24-hour period, we finally get some nice, calmer weather now that the winds have calmed down. Taking a look outside Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, we've got clear skies tonight and those calm winds, like I just said. Now, we have had a cooler day today because of that front that came through yesterday. We got up to the upper 50s. We dropped down to just about freezing, and then today we got up to about 45 degrees, plus those winds had a nice little wind chill as well. Now, tonight we're still going to drop down into the upper 20s, about 28, 27 degrees, but winds are calm and skies are clear. Now, we had quite a bit of rainfall, so around the area, Joplin area got about 2 inches of rain. Pittsburgh got about 3 inches of rain, but the most that was recorded was out near Caney, just south of Independence, near Coffeyville as well, got over 5 inches of rain, so quite a bit of rainfall. Now, we have a nice long stretch where we don't have to deal with a lot of rain. Hopefully, the mud will dry out. We do have some clouds moving in tomorrow, so we're going to start off with some partly cloudy skies and then kind of switching over to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are starting cool, getting into the 50s by about 11 a.m. to noon, and then hitting upper 50s to just about 60 degrees. So overall, it is going to be a pretty nice day tomorrow. Calm winds out of the south, which is going to be bringing us those warmer temperatures. We have that wind shift coming in early Thursday morning. Again, partly to mostly cloudy skies, which keeps us a little bit cooler, but we're getting into the upper 50s, low 60s, so still a nice jump from today. And then overcast skies overnight. Winds start to increase overnight on Thursday and into Friday as well, and then they start to shift out of the west ahead of a front that's moving through. Now, this front's coming in late Friday and into early Saturday morning. This would be midnight Saturday morning. We are going to see that front pushing through, so winds out of the north. As of right now, we're just seeing a lot of clouds along that boundary, but a lot of moisture is in the atmosphere, so I still have that 10% chance we might see a pop-up shower there as this front is completely passing the area, and it's going to give us a bit of a cooler day on Saturday, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Now, those winds gusting ahead of the front late Thursday night and into Friday, 45 to 50 miles per hour overnight. Then, as winds shift out of the west by 7:30, 8 a.m., right when you're making your way out the door, about 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. That front starts to push through late Friday afternoon and into overnight Saturday morning, and we're going to see winds out of the north, pretty calm as well. Now, like I said, temperatures are going to be a bit cooler because of that front on Saturday, so we're only getting up to low 50s for the high. Overnight lows dropping down again, down to the mid to lower 30s, and then the highs on Sunday getting into the upper 50s and low 60s. And it doesn't stop there, because Monday and Tuesday we're finally reaching the 70s again. So overall, we've got a nice forecast, a couple of windy days ahead of the fronts that are moving through, but those fronts aren't going to be dropping a ton of rainfall like we just saw, just some light showers kind of passing as the boundary passes us. So overall, I can't complain.
It's the time of year when we should expect occasional showers and, like, for that matter, high winds, I guess.
What's the phrase? May showers bring April flowers? We're a little
April
early.
showers bring, yeah, something like
Okay.
that. I don't know what. It brings Mayflowers, and Mayflowers bring pilgrims. I believe that's the way it goes. Thanks. Still ahead, Pittsburgh State Baseball hosts Missouri S&T for a non-conference game, and Missouri Southern Women's Basketball takes on Northwest Missouri in the opening round of the MIAA tournament. Ben McLeish has those stories and more coming up next.
And it's time for our Row, Swivel, and Style event. Stop in and choose your swivel chair.com.
The 2025 MIAA basketball tournament tips off this afternoon in Kansas City. Missouri Southern women's basketball is our only local team in action for day one. The Lions take on Northwest Missouri, hoping to keep their season alive for at least one more day. Missouri Southern women's basketball faces Northwest Missouri in the opening round of the MIAA tournament. We pick it up late second quarter. Ryan Franklin muscles this shot up and in. She leads the Lions with 9 first-half points. To the third quarter, Mackenzie Hart is wide open off a shot fake, and her baseline jumper is good. Southern scores the first 4 points of the half and is far from finished. A few minutes later, Hart does it all herself on the fast break and hits a tough layup. The lead grows to 9, and Northwest has to call timeout. 2.5 minutes to go in the third. Bearcats are still without a point since halftime, and Hart finds Caitlin Honeycutt for an easy layup. Lions now lead by 15. In the fourth quarter, Franklin pads the lead with a lefty layup. She finishes with a game-high 28 points. And Southern takes care of Northwest 59-50. The Lions will face number 1 seed Pittsburgh State in the quarterfinals tomorrow night.
We just came out and we wanted it. We knew that we had to come out of the third corner and set the tone, and I think we did exactly that we were supposed to do.
I mean, I think I just had to come out with confidence, knowing that I can make it. And even if I miss a couple, you know, if the shot's open, try not to force it, but, you know, take my shot.
It was cold out today, but not too cold for some baseball. Pitt State at home versus Missouri S&T for the midweek matchup. The Gorillas jumped to an early 5-run lead thanks to plays like this. They'd score 6 runs in the first 2 innings on only 2 hits. But not so fast, the Miners are crawling back. Top of the 6th, Krodinger bunts it to the third baseman, tough play, and he can't make it. So the Miners make it 4-7. Now in the 8th, Miners down by 1, Bryson Smith with the pinch hit RBI single. We're all tied up. Smith would steal second, S&T looking to take the lead, but Cooper Crouch corrals it to escape the jam. The Gorillas' 5-run lead is gone, but bases are loaded. Bottom of the 8th, Andrew Branson up to bat. He squibs it to the third baseman, who bobbles it. The Gorillas are up by 1 heading to the 9th. Can the Miners pull off another comeback? No. Brady Pacha strikes out Hooper to earn the save. Pitt State takes down the Miners 8-7, and they travel to Central Oklahoma for a 3-game series on Friday. Switching gears to Kansas high school basketball, tonight we've got a bunch of substitute semifinals taking place across our viewing area. Starting in the girls 2A semifinal, number 1 seed Colgan dominates Central Heights 58-5. Yes, you heard that right. The Panthers' average margin of victory in the sub-states is 52 points so far. Still in 2A, Southeast falls to Eureka 52-35. So Colgan will take on the Tornadoes on Saturday with the sub-state championship on the line. In the boys 3A semifinals, Galena takes down Frontenac 63-56. And Girard beats Fredonia 102-92 in triple overtime. Now the 13 seed Trojans will take on the 1 seed Bulldogs in the championship on Saturday. In the girls 4A semifinals, Fort Scott took care of Ottawa 49-23. They head to the sub-state finals and will take on Labette County, who defeated Tonganoxie 39-34 tonight. We've got plenty of great sub-state basketball left again this weekend.
It sounds like it. Boy, 58-5 was.
I know. I had to read it twice. I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing. Some of you will think, I'm not sure I've seen him before, and you would be correct. Ben McLeish is a new addition to our sports team, going to be joining John Dales here. It's good to have you on board.
Thank you, Dale.
We'll be seeing a lot more of Ben ahead, and we'll be right back.
Great news, our bureau.
Here's something that might change your mind about mice, assuming you have an opinion on mice. These long-haired cuties are the product of a Texas bioengineering company. They're the first step in a project to bring back the extinct prehistoric woolly mammoth. Yeah, believe it or not, using the mouse version of mammoth genes, researchers made a shaggy species that can tolerate the cold. The company says it's a breakthrough in the quest to support biodiversity, maybe ultimately bringing back the woolly mammoth by manipulating the genes of an elephant.
Interesting.
So what do you
stuff,
think?
Yeah.
Well, I don't exactly need a woolly mammoth coat around here, but it's been a little bit cool.
Well, tonight's going to be pretty cool, but we warm up for the weekend, upper 50s tomorrow. Windy, warm day on Friday to the 70s, so looking pretty good, at least for the next 10 days.
Looking forward to that. We mentioned that Ben is a new addition to our team here at KOAM, part of our sports team, joining John Dales. Your history, you don't come from around here exactly.
No, I just graduated from the University of Florida, so it's been a little tough getting accustomed to this cold weather.
You are fortunate you weren't working out in the cold about 3 weeks ago, and it was bitterly cold. I guess you've been working around here for a while, but just still getting acclimated to this weather.
Yeah, I'm certainly glad I wasn't there for that snowstorm.
Yeah, well, you have a lot more ahead of you. Just wait till spring. And thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.